This is Dr. Trudy Coleman. I thought I'd start this off with that beautiful song, You Are the Sunshine of My Life, from the Clark Sisters. I'm going to be reading to you because I have a lot to say. But I want to first say from the Juneteenth Education Technology Mobile Arts family, JETMAC, that I want to thank each one of you for your support for coming out to the 20-year Martin Luther King Unity Breakfast. I want to also take this time to say I want to share my condolences for those family who lost people, friends, acquaintances through this coronavirus. We know that God is in control, that nothing can happen that He doesn't let happen. So this too will pass, we know. Anyway, I wanted to share the things from Juneteenth that are coming up, because we're not going to let this thing stop us. You know, we have to keep moving on, and that's how we survive. We just keep moving on and keep the faith. So I want all of you to have precautions about where you go and what you do, so you can keep your family safe and yourself safe at this challenging time that we're going through. On June the 20th, 2020, I'll say that again. On June 20th, 2020, Saturday, you know it's the third Saturday in June, which is California National Juneteenth Freedom Day, the holiday bill that got signed by Governor Davis in year 2002. Now, that event represents the celebration of the emancipation that Abraham Lincoln signed in 1863, freeing all the slaves. Last to be in Texas. Did not hear about it till 2.5 years later, till June 19th, 1865. Therefore, everyone celebrated in the streets, and Texas became the first state to make it a legal holiday. And we now have 45 states who make it as a holiday observance. Hopefully it'll be signed in the White House one day as a federal holiday observance, not to be off work, or to be paid, but a holiday observance from the federal level, which will put it on the calendar around the country. We will be having petitions going out still in support of that effort. But one of the things that we will still be doing is, for the first time this year, from our National Juneteenth Observance Foundation, which I am a member of, which JETMAC is a member of, and all the Juneteenth organizations across the nation, we're going to have a national Juneteenth Queen Pageant this year. And since we have to deal with the coronavirus, we're going to have it set up as a digital video application form, and the entries will have to be done through video on the internet. The voting, everything is going to take place on the internet. So we want you to get ready, and if you want to be a part of it,
I'm Mayor Tim Sandoval of the City of Pomona. Every year for the past 30 years, Juneteenth has been celebrated in our city. It is different this year due to COVID-19, but Trudy Coleman, the driving force behind Juneteenth in our city, found a way to bring us together virtually. Thank you, Trudy, for the love and energy you bring to making Juneteenth possible in Pomona. As we celebrate this date in our history, I must pause to acknowledge the recent senseless and criminal acts committed against George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery. There is more work to be done. Let us remember our fight to ensure that emancipation is not only in name, but also in practice. We cannot do this alone. We must work together. Happy Juneteenth to everyone, and God bless you.
Hello, I'm Congresswoman Norma Torres. Today is Juneteenth, the oldest known celebration commemorating the ending of slavery in the United States. It was on this day in 1865 that news reached Galveston, Texas, more than 2.5 years after Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, that the Civil War had ended and the slaves were now free. Free. 155 years later, we remember the brutal history of our country, the countless slaves that were beaten, lynched, and murdered. We've made strong progress over 155 years. The struggle for freedom and equality endured through Jim Crow segregation, the civil rights movement, but there's still so much more to do. There's a call for justice in the streets all across America right now because there's still so much to do. So as we pay tribute to those who risked their lives for abolition, emancipation, justice, and equality, let's draw inspiration from their leadership. They brought us this far. Now it's our turn to carry the torch and end the injustice of systemic racism in our society. Thank you.
2020 marks the 155th anniversary of Juneteenth. Juneteenth is significant in 2020 because our nation continues to traverse the question of whether Americans descended from enslaved Africans are to be regarded as equal brothers and sisters with the same rights, the same privileges as all other Americans. Today, we are in another epoch that affords our nation an opportunity to thoughtfully root out the vestiges of slavery and move the needle forward in the noble purposes of preserving our liberty as Americans and as individuals with God-given giftings, talents, hopes, and dreams that are hungry to be expressed and fulfilled. As we embark on a new path that reflects on how our nation has been called to accountability for its promises to us, we should also regard Juneteenth in the year 2020 as a benchmark of a renewed will to live free as American citizens. It is in our God-given freedom, with dignity and strength, that Juneteenth will persist and affirm that America is our home.